11-1. I know it's been a long time since you guys have seen me. I think the last video I created was before the season started. Truth be told, I wanted to create a video every week. Sometimes I did and just didn't upload it. Just been super busy, guys. I have so much respect for the Eagles fans that do create videos. You know, Philly 500, Philly Mike, Thomas Mott, all those big time YouTubers. You know, Lord Brunson. I don't want to Joey Shakes. I don't want to forget anybody. So I don't want to start naming people because then I'm gonna forget like one or two people. I'm gonna feel bad. But I have so much respect for, you know, all the YouTube creators that do it every week. I don't know how you guys find the time, but man, I enjoy it because before I go to bed, I'm always on YouTube and I'm watching you guys' videos and getting amped up. And 11-1. Who would have thought that this was possible? Like, who would have thought? Like, we all thought that the Eagles were going to be good. We didn't know about Jalen Hurts. That was kind of like the one. But everything else, you looked amongst our team and you're like, damn, there's like Pro Bowl caliber players everywhere. It's exciting. It's really exciting. The best record in the league. Can you imagine if we were 12-0 right now? I know it's water under the bridge. Commanders got us. And I was online, you know, saying, good job, good game, you got us, you're the better team that day, blah, blah, blah. Given all the things that you have to say to, you know, be a mature NFL fan and eat crow and all this stuff. But man, they just keep coming and coming and coming. Like, we beat you. I'm like, bro, you're down here. Like, you are not even in the playoffs right now. Shut up. Don't start making me go into my bag of excuses. I don't want to be like a Cowboys fan. Don't make me do it. Because to be honest with you, we played like ass that day. It felt so much like we beat ourselves. Don't get me wrong. They had a good plan on offense. They really just, with this long sustained drives, I mean, you came out of that game thinking, man, they ran all over us. And really, they didn't so much. I think they averaged like 3.3, 3.5 yards a carry, which isn't insane. So it really wasn't that. It was just sustaining drives, always being in third and short, and just keeping us off the field. But even with that, how many damn times did we, I mean, a long pass to Quez Watkins, and he just fumbled it. I don't even think it was a forced fumble. I think he just fumbled it. Like, we were all the way, like, 3 points at least, right? But we were all the way in, like, the red zone after a long pass, and he just fumbled it. Then the Dallas Goedert fumble, which he would not even have fumbled if it wasn't for a face mask. I've never seen a play where it wasn't just a missed call. It was the entire reason why the Commanders got the turnover in the first place. In the first place. You know, anytime you have a penalty, it's basically cheating. That's why it's called a penalty. So basically you cheated, and that's how you got the turnover, and the refs allowed it. You know, and that was, I can't remember how many points they got. They got at least 3. But still, that stops our drive and gives it to them, like already in the red zone or close to. And there was just so many like ways in which we screwed up. And really, that's why it's so hard to go undefeated, guys. That's why it's so hard, because you have to be on your game every week. And it's the NFL, guys. It's the NFL. They call it any given Sunday for a reason. The Colts beat the Chiefs. The Colts beat the Chiefs. The Jets beat the Bills. Now don't get me wrong. I did not think we were going to go 17-0. I was wishing for it. If there was that point where we were 15-0, 16-0, and it was a question whether to play our starters the last week of the season or the last 2 weeks of the season, I would have been for it. I would have been so for it because people want to sit there and say, no, the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl. Well, yes, because you can't ever be considered the best team ever if you didn't win the Super Bowl, right? That's why the Patriots couldn't be considered the best team ever because they didn't win the Super Bowl. But if you just win the Super Bowl, you're like every other team, 50-some teams that have won the Super Bowl. You're forgotten pretty quickly. What Super Bowl, which team won the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 18? I don't know without looking it up. You know, and maybe you do. Maybe you're just that good, you know. But when you have the chance to be undefeated, be the second team ever to be undefeated, and with more games in the season, you can be the best team ever. Your legacy carries on forever. You have to win the Super Bowl. I agree. That's predicated on that. But you can. So to me, it would have been no brainer. You owe the fans to try to do that. If we were 15, 16-0, and if we were 16-0 and you rested the stars the last week of the season and we lost, I'd never be able to forgive the front office. I'd never be able to forgive them. Some of you, yeah, because you just want to win the Super Bowl. You don't care. You just want to be one of the 50-some people who have done it. Me, that's the chance of a lifetime. You know, and I would have never forgiven him. I still, to this day, have not forgiven Chip Kelly for benching Nick Foles when he had 7 touchdown passes against the Raiders. Nobody's ever thrown 8. And he had I can't remember how many, he had almost a whole fourth quarter or damn close. I'm like, dude, that's history. What the, you already got the game winning. Yes, if Nick Foles would have, I get it. If he would have, we didn't win the Super Bowl anyway, so hindsight is who would care at that point, but you get a chance for history, and I just felt it was a big to the fans. But that's just how I feel. Doesn't matter though. We're not undefeated. Commanders got us. Just a trash ass game, man. And really, it was coming for a while because the Texans we did not play well in. And even the Colts game we did not play well in. So those were, and obviously we lost the game between them. So really, it was 3 games in a row where it was So the last 2 games offensively, damn. So I'm rambling on, guys. But I'm just super stoked about this season. We're basically in the playoffs. I know we didn't clinch a playoff spot. I think we clinched with a win, right? I think we clinched with a win this week. I have to look at that. Because we clinched with a win plus a few other things happening. One of those things happened, but I don't know. I think we clinched with a win. It'd be our 12th win. We'd be 12-1. I don't know how that's not clinching mathematically already somehow, but it's crazy. It all comes down to that Dallas game, really. I mean, it doesn't have to come down to that Dallas game because if you look at our rest of our games, we play the Giants twice. We should be favored in both of those. The Bears and the Saints. We should be favored in all those. We should win all 4 of those. So if the only game we lose is the Cowboys, it's not going to matter. We're still going to win the division, and we're still going to be number 1 seed. So, and about that, ESPN has these weird-ass analytical things. They say we have a 20, you look at the chance of winning, FPI chance of winning, whatever, 70-some%, 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 70-some%. But the Cowboys, they have us at 20-some% chance to win. How? It's supposed to be non-biased, non-subjective. It's supposed to be completely by the numbers, analytical. Let me go over some stats. Okay, I know the Cowboys stats are pretty darn good in their own right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's not. But we're first in passing defense. We're the number 1 team against the pass. Surprising. We're first in turnover differential with a plus 13. I know Cowboys are second at plus 9. But still, we're number 1. We're second in points forced. Second. Cowboys aren't second. We're tied for 7th in points allowed. with 112 differential. We're first in rushing touchdowns at 23 and total touchdowns at 44. We've scored more touchdowns than any other team in the league. We're first in interceptions, second in sacks. We've allowed 17 points or fewer in 8 of our 12 games. You just, how? And we already beat Cowboys before by 2 scores. It wasn't like it was a 1 or 2 point game where we just barely clutched it out. We beat them by 2 scores. It was 20-3 at halftime. And yes, give the Cowboys credit. They ran on us in the third quarter, and Cowboys fans don't understand that the way I almost said Jim Johnson. Wow. The way Jonathan Gannon coordinates this defense is once we're up, he lets you have those rushing and those short passes because he just doesn't want to get anything over top. He doesn't want you to catch up quickly. He wants you to earn it. And the Cowboys were earning it. Basically what I'm saying is we don't play defense the same way when we're up by 20-3. So yeah, you got back in it, and then when we needed to drive, boom, we went and we took the lead. And then, you guys try to go, no, because we're playing defense back like we were, and there's another interception. I don't know. I don't like talking trash because you can word it any way you want. We beat Cowboys. Well, we didn't have Dak Prescott. If we beat you again, there's going to be something. There's going to be something. Maybe we knock out, maybe it's because you didn't have your cornerbacks, or maybe it's because, I don't know, we knock out Dak Prescott like late in the fourth quarter and you think somehow, some way that changed things and you would have won if you'd have had him for that stretch. Or I don't know. It'll be something. It'll be something. Maybe it'll be the referee officiating. Maybe it'll be something. You guys will not just be able to say, you know what, you were the better team. You got us. And, hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs and we'll see what happens then. You just can't do that. Cowboys fans just can't do that. Oh, my Lord. When we beat Green Bay, all I heard was, man, you allowed 33 points and everything. Like, ooh, you look at that defense. I'm not scared of that, blah, blah, blah. We scored 40 against the Packers in a win. You scored, 28 in a loss. And that's how I reply to people who sit there and say, when you guys destroyed the Colts, I knew damn well what was coming on Monday. I knew what was coming on Monday after you guys beat the Colts. I knew it. I sat there and said, here, that Cowboy hype machine in the media is just going to go crazy. It's going to go crazy. You forget the fact that it was a 2-point game late, very, very late in the third quarter. The Colts were going for a 2-point conversion to tie with like 2 or 3 minutes left in the third quarter. That's how close that game was. That is how close that game was. And then the wheels fell off. The wheels absolutely fell off. I'm not going to sit there and not give the Cowboys credit for forcing the turnovers or doing this or doing that. Of course, you have to be, even if it was an unforced one, you still have to be Johnny on the spot to get the ball, right? I'm not giving the Cowboys credit. But it snowballed big time on the Colts. It just was a snowball thing of mistakes, so that game was so much tighter than what that score indicated. So stop. The Colts are not a good team. And then they'll sit there and say, well, you only beat them by 1 point. Yeah, and we beat the Packers that you lost to. It's a week-to-week league. The Colts beat the Chiefs. Do you think the Colts are a better team than the Chiefs? I don't. Shit just happens. I don't think the Packers are a better team than the Cowboys. I don't. Nowhere close. But you still lost to them. The Commanders are not a better team than us. I hope to see the Commanders. I think we'll bitch slap the fuck out of you. I do. But you got us. You're the reason why we're not undefeated. So it's things happen. Things happen in the league. It's week to week. Oh, man. I wanted to go over the MVP talk. I'm going to make another video for that, though, because this is already going on 15 minutes. We have what? We have 5 games each, us and the Cowboys. Hate to break it to you, Eagles fans, Cowboys are not going to lose again before they play us. They play the Texans and the Jaguars. I know it's any given Sunday. I have a hard time believing that the Texans or Jaguars are going to beat the Cowboys. I thought the Colts were the best chance because at least, they fight hard, and you never know. They did beat the Chiefs. They did bring us to 1 point. They can fight hard. I see no help given to the Eagles with the Texans and the Jaguars. I don't see it. So the Cowboys are going to come in with only 3 losses. And yeah, so basically it forces the Eagles to keep winning. We play the Giants now. I'm one of those Eagles fans that are scared in general because no matter how bad the team is, like I'm scared for the Bears. I'm scared to play the Bears because of Justin Fields and how he runs all over the damn place and how we're pretty susceptible to running quarterbacks, even though we got one ourselves. That scares me. I just keep thinking, okay, their defense, they have nobody. They have nobody. Like when we took Robert Quinn, that was like the last piece of it. Like they have, Jaquan Smith or whatever. They have nobody. They just, how they're going to stop us from scoring themselves is, I don't know. But I'm scared against the Bears. I'm scared versus the Saints. Like I'm scared versus everybody. Because I just think like, what if like we're just, which is stupid. But we should handle the Giants. We should handle the Bears. So both teams are going to be favored in the next 2 games. And it's going to be between the Eagles and Cowboys. The Cowboys is the only team on there that has the skill where it would not be like this major upset if they beat us. The Giants would be an upset. The Bears would be an upset. The Saints would be an upset. The Giants again would be an upset. The Cowboys would be the only game where it wouldn't be like this massive upset. But if that's the only game we lose, Cowboys fans, I hate to break it to you, we still win the division and we're still the number 1 seed. So if we only lose that game, we're still the number 1 seed. Now, I don't want to lose that game because it's the Cowboys. I don't want to give them any reason to say, oh, Dak owns you and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I would still be really mad. And if we beat the Cowboys, we're going to clinch the division. The only way that's not the case is if we go 0-2 these next 2 games and they go 2-0. That's the only way where we would not clinch the division against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to go 2-0, unfortunately. Even if we went 1-1 these next 2 games, we still clinch the division beating the Cowboys. We're most likely, that's why that game's so huge. That's why that game's so huge. I would like to go 2-0, even if the Cowboys go 2-0. I would like to go 2-0, and then that Cowboys game is either we clinch the division or the Cowboys survive. Cowboys can't clinch. What that means is if we beat the Cowboys, like we have to go 2-0 these next 2 games. But that means if we beat the Cowboys, division race is over. We're the division champions. You're going to be on the road in the first week of the season, which maybe the Cowboys prefer that because their home field advantage is not home field advantage. But basically, we clinch the division. And it's just another year where it's not a repeat winner in the division. If the Cowboys beat us, it's not over. We're still number 1 in the division. We would just have to, the magic number's 2. Either 2 Eagles wins, 2 Cowboys losses, or 1 of each. The magic number would be 2 at that point. It would force us to really take the Saints and the Giants the next 2 weeks carefully. The last two games for the Cowboys is Titans and Commanders. I can't see them losing to the Commanders. I don't even see them losing to the Titans. And here's why. Well, it depends. But if the Titans cannot figure out how to get Derrick Henry going, they have no chance. They have no chance. They do have a really good rushing defense, so I can see them keeping Zeke and Pollard in check. And the Cowboys don't have a good rushing defense. So if the Titans themselves can get Derrick Henry going, then it could be a great matchup for the Titans. But without Derrick Henry getting going, it could be a very bad matchup for the Titans. So as right now, unless they get that fixed, because Derrick Henry's not been doing good the last 3 or 4 weeks. So unless they get that fixed, I don't see the Cowboys have much of a chance to lose that game either. If they get Derrick Henry going and he starts becoming Derrick Henry again, King Henry, then there's a chance, because the Cowboys, I don't think will run the ball that well against them and be forced to pass. Of course, the Titans don't have a great pass defense, so. Basically, what I'm trying to say in a long-winded answer, 20-minute video, Jesus Christ. Outside of the Eagles-Cowboy matchup, I see the Eagles going 4-0, and I see the Cowboys going 4-0. Which would mean, regardless of the result of that matchup, Eagles will win the division. But that's a game. That game's gonna be huge, though, man. That game's gonna be so huge. And that Cowboy hype machine, I can see a bunch of people picking Dallas, because if they can, I know they picked all Eagles basically the first time, but you guys had a backup quarterback game, this and that, blah, blah. But if the media can ever reasonably pick the Cowboys, if it's reasonable, they'll do it. And so, you know, hopefully that'll stick a fire under the Eagles' asses and we come out on fire. I don't know. But it's huge. San Francisco on their backup quarterback. Everybody was just hyping them up like crazy, and I just never could see it. I could never see it. I know that defense is darn good, but I could just never see it. We have a weird offense. Now last week it was actually more prototypical. We didn't really do many read options. It was very like drop back and dice you apart. It was actually more of a standard offense this past week against the Titans. But usually with the read option, this and that, we're just not your typical offense. So San Francisco's been darn good against normal offenses. I don't know how they would do it against us. Maybe they do amazing. Maybe they don't. Maybe we're the outlier against them. I don't know. But I'm just, as much as I hate to say it, I do think it's between us and the Cowboys as far as who goes to the Super Bowl. I do. Does that mean there can't be an upset? Like, holy crap, like freaking San Francisco came out of nowhere, or the Vikings came out of nowhere, maybe the Seahawks, or, you know, it can happen. Or maybe Brady in the playoffs, just all of a sudden everything changes and they come alive somehow out of the blue. I don't know. Upsets can happen. I'm not saying it's 100% for sure, but it does look like it's Eagles and Cowboys. And what sucks is it's likely not going to be an NFC Championship game because one of us are going to be a wild card, right? So it's all about seeding. The first seed's going to play the lowest seed. So unless the Giants, Commanders, Seahawks, whoever's in the playoffs there can win that first week to force us to play them instead of the Cowboys, which maybe, because, well, maybe. But you would just have to think that, well, it's possible. It's possible. But it just, Eagles-Cowboys could very well be a divisional matchup. And that could be, even though it's not a conference championship game, it could be a divisional game that pretty much, that's going to be the favorite. Whoever wins that game is going to go on, you know? So really looks like it's Eagles-Cowboys. And God, I hope it's not the Cowboys. I would not be able to tolerate that. Every time we play the Cowboys, I always get super nervous because even if the Eagles are by far the better team, like I think the Eagles will win against the Cowboys. I do. I really think they'll win. But it doesn't matter. The Cowboys could be like the Bears. They could be like the Texans, the worst team in the league. It does not matter their skill level. That does not mean whether I'm scared or not. I'm always scared because what if the Cowboys win and I have to freaking hear it? And I don't want to. It's the team I hate the absolute most. My fiance is a Cowboy fan, so it gets, I know, guys. I know. I'm trying to convert her. I'm trying. But it's scary because it's like, what if? I'm either going to have the best week or I'm going to have the absolute worst week, you know? And that chance is just, it's scary. So I'm looking forward to it, not looking forward to it. So anyway, that's where I'm at. It's a 25-minute video, but it's only because like I haven't posted all damn season. I wanted to get everything out there. I'm gonna throw up another video about Jalen Hurts and this possible MVP, where I stand on it. I'm gonna come out as unbiased as possible. You guys might be surprised. So if you want to know my honest answer, I'm gonna throw out a bunch of numbers that really haven't been thrown out. So definitely watch that video. It'll be uploaded either before this one or after this one, probably after this one. All right, guys. Peace and go Birds.